in order. And so the reason I start off tonight's Qiyam with this specific story is because 20 nights have passed us in Ramadan. We have 10 more, or perhaps 9. Brothers and sisters, tonight is a night, a very special one. Allah Azza wa Jal has given us both the will and the ability to be here. Many of our brothers and sisters were given the will to be here, but were not given the ability. And others were given the ability to be here, but were not given the will. So we thank and we praise Allah Azza wa Jal for granting us both the will and the ability to be here on this blessed night, to take advantage of the theme, which is مَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْقُرْآنَ لِتَشْقَى. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Marwa Azab. Dr. Marwa is a life coach, instructor, and public speaker. Her interest in human behavior compelled her to complete 2 advanced degrees in psychology and a PhD in neuroscience. She has taught courses at the biology, psychology, and human development departments in Irvine and Cal State University of Long Beach. Her interdisciplinary background allows her to intersect fields to come up with innovative ways to understand why we do what we do. She's a firm believer that it is at these intersection foci that creativity and novelty find fertile ground. In addition to lecturing in universities, and she's also performed a TED Talk, mashallah, Dr. Marwa Azab today is joining us to lecture us and speak about the love letter. So please welcome Dr. Marwa Azab to the stage. Contrary to popular belief, clapping is not haram in Islam.
Thank you. Okay. I have said both letter. I was caught up. Next, the word was suffocating, too heavy, and became harder, letting them eyes soften my heart. So that happens in our Muslim community too. So, and perhaps lately, I hear things like, you know, now we're in the era of information. So for some reason now we think we're all so smart and we can outdo the Creator. And you hear things in the Muslim community that, well, I will allow my intellect to choose for me what works and what doesn't work. So I will take in Islam what my intellect, now that we know so much information, makes sense. What doesn't make sense, I will just not do. Because now we're in the era of information. But how much information is there? The earth is not even a dot, considering all the universe, all of the galaxies out there. We are nothing. Our minds, at one point, our smart scientists thought that the earth was flat. There are things that we don't know today, there are things that we will know tomorrow, and there are things that we will never know because our mind will not allow them. So let me take you quickly to a journey to the chapter of the most merciful, Surah Ar-Rahman. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman, allama al-Qur'an, khalaqa al-insan. What was mentioned first? Al-Qur'an or the creation of insan? Allama al-Qur'an, khalaqa al-insan. The Qur'an was mentioned first before the creation of insan. Who are we to think of our intellect when the Qur'an was made before we were even created? Because we need a manual, just like when you buy a TV, a phone, whatever it is, you need a manual to know, to troubleshoot. The Qur'an is much more than that. So a book that's simply written can sometimes be good for the simple person to read, but can frustrate the critical thinker because it's too simple for them. And then a book can be written so eloquently that it is so satisfying and challenging to a smart person to this eloquent, critical thinker, but it is very frustrating to the simple person. Alhamdulillah, it's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the Quran was written to address both camps, because if one is frustrated, they're going to abandon that book. So the simple person can read it.